Hey everyone, Aqua Boy Rocks here. It happens to be St. Patrick's Day as I'm filming this, but more importantly, it's Thursday, and Thursday's about Thundereggs. So one of the things I said I was going to mention, and will probably mention more than once, is about Thunderegg sourcing. So, fresh in today is a large flat rate box from a claim owner in Central Oregon. This is a fellow I communicate with from time to time. He's got a number of great claims. You've seen some eggs that I've purchased third hand from some of his claims. I believe the paintbrush bed eggs were from one of his. So these are from him. Purchased them directly from him. A great source for that is the Thunderegg shop on Facebook. Now, I'm not a huge fan of all things Facebook. I spend very little time on it for my personal life, but it is a great place to connect in the world of rocks, purchasing all sorts of things. It's just a place collectors buy, sell, trade Thundereggs, and occasionally, not all the time, but occasionally claim owners will post rough material on there. So it's one of my favorite sources. Some of the eggs are more expensive than my tastes allow, but some of them are very reasonable. If you research what owning a mineral claim involves, it's quite a pain in the neck, it would look like. So if I get a chance to have somebody else do all that work, dig the eggs, which as you start to watch some of my videos I'll eventually be putting up, and many others, look up digging Thundereggs at Sucker Creek or Lucky Strike Mine. It is real work. Some of them you can't even get out with a hammer and chisel. You need some serious tools to get some of these things out. And some of them it's as easy as digging in the dirt and digging them out, but that varies greatly. So it's a real treat to have them show up at your front door in a box and just ready to have fun with. So I'm going to use my trusty house key, get into this box, and we'll take a look. Alright, so we've got this opened up, and look at that. Look at all those beautiful Thundereggs. I've got these little cheap bins I pick up at the store. Got my Sharpie ready to label them. By the way, I really need to pick up some paint pens. Being out here in the elements, Sharpies are not permanent markers on these types of things. So just looking at these right off the bat, got at least 3 different locations just right here. That might be a 4th one. Probably 4 different locations. Maybe 5. Maybe 6. So I'm going to have no idea. I've got some other eggs from his claims, so I might be able to kind of go through and match some of these up. But really, I'm not going to have much idea where all of these come from unless I sort them out and then send him pictures, which I may do, and try and figure all that out. broken one. That almost looks like a Richardson's egg, which is not one of his locations, but that doesn't mean he wouldn't have had one and thrown it in a mixed box. So most of these are in the 2 to 4 inch range. Got a double. Another double. It's an interesting looking one. Ain't nothing too strange or exotic in here, but this one looks like it was a slip and weld, possibly. You can see here there's a line going across it. I'm on the wrong side. Line going across it right here. You can see over here a shelf, and then opposite another shelf, and you can see it looks like this half of the egg slid this way. So you find one, so there's a lot of arguments sometimes, especially when I think I've seen a slip egg, about slip eggs versus pressure ridges. So here's a pressure ridge that runs all the way around this egg, and you can see it's kind of makes a point all the way around, and this is not a point all the way around. It's a line that goes all the way around, but there's no point there to it. Here's another type of pressure ridge where it's going kind of in multiple, I like to call them cells, but you can see it's an actual ridge, not a joint where these two things slipped. So, pretty cool box of rocks here. It's going to take more than my one bin to hold them. So, I think the only thing to do would be pick a couple of these and cut them. So what do we pull out of this beautiful box of eggs and cut? Little double there. It's a good candidate. Let's get about 3. Here's another double with a completely different type of matrix. So that's going to be a different location. And a nice fairly symmetrical single. This thing is super light, so I'm going to put money on this being hollow. That'll be a great representation out of this box for us to cut and look at. So these are the Thundereggs. Haven't even really cleaned the oil off of them. This one was kind of a dud. I don't think the camera... Oh, there's a little bit of the sparkle. There are a few crystals. If you look to the left-hand side of this one, you can sort of see the sparkle. So this is where a microscope would come in handy. But so there's a little bit of interesting structure going on in there. I'm not going to worry about sanding that one. This is probably the one I find the most interesting, this double. Got two distinct chambers, some clear agate, maybe the start of some common opal in there. And then this one I also thought was going to be a double by the shape, but there's only one core. Now at this one you can really see the problem of cutting these things by hand. Look at all these deep saw marks. This one's really bad. So when I go to try and sand these, if I try and sand them, I'm going to spend a long time. I can feel, a 32nd of an inch difference probably there. And besides these big old shelves, or whatever you want to call them here, where the matrix just broke instead of the saw going through it, it's going to take a long time to sand that down. Hope you enjoyed Thunderegg Thursday. 3 very distinct Thundereggs in my flat rate box I got today. Of course, it would be more fun to get to go dig these, but when you don't live in the area it's pretty nice to just have them show up at your front door to see you next Thursday.